What's up, everyone? It's your boy, the Anonymous Farmer with Anonymous Genetics, back with another video for you novice growers. And today's topic is going to be something that I'm seeing a lot of people post about on social media. It's come up multiple times in the last couple of weeks, and that's going to be harvest time and when you can tell it's time to harvest your plant. Now, there's many people out there telling many different things and many different factors, but let's just cut to the chase. The one thing that you want to watch to know if your plant is ready to harvest is the trichome development. Now, trichomes are what you see on the plant or on the buds when it's done. It's the frosty, white, dust covering looking stuff on the plant. And when you get a jeweler's loupe or a magnifying glass and you magnify, each one of those trichomes is like a stick in a bowl. And the little bulb on top is what we're going to look at to determine if your plant is ready to harvest or not. And as I mentioned, you need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, and you're going to want to be able to get up on the bud and focus so that you can see all of the trichome tops. What you're looking for is the color. When the trichomes are immature, they start off clear. As they mature, they go from clear to milky, to like a white color. And then from white, they go to amber. Now there's steps in between where you can see that it's a little clear, a little milky. And what we're going to talk about is percentages. What percent that you want to harvest your trichomes at if you want it milky to clear. Now I'm going to explain to you the difference between milky and clear. Milky is a stage that's basically right before the amber, and at milky, depending on the strain and depending on the effect you want, you can pull your plant. Now me personally, I like to go 60-40 milky to amber, and I usually only do hybrids or indicas. So I don't want to let it go all the way amber, because the more amber you get, the heavier the effects are. Not necessarily you're going to feel any more benefit psychoactive wise, but you're just going to get like couch locked, and you're just going to want to knock out. So I mean, if you have insomnia and that's really what you're only treating is insomnia, then going amber might be the way to go. But a lot of us want to be able to function, so I tend to go 60-40 milky to amber. And like I said, it also depends on what strains you have and what you're trying to treat. Like if people are growing a sativa and you're trying to treat anxiety and depression, then you're going to want to pull your plant a little more on the milky side, less on the amber, so you get more of those psychoactive traits. The more, like I said, the more you go amber, the more you're going to get the heaviness, and you're just going to be really lazy and you're not going to want to do anything. And that's mostly with the indicas and hybrids. Even a sativa, a really strong sativa, if you let it go amber, it's going to have similar effects. It's still going to be really heavy, and it's still going to put you out. Excuse me. But I personally like to go 60-40 on hybrids and indicas. Like I said before, it's really dependent on what you're looking for. And hopefully I broke that down to where you guys can understand. If you're using an indica or a hybrid and you're using it for pain relief, chronic pain, or insomnia, you're going to want to go 60-40 or 50-50. You have to take into consideration as well that the plant continues to mature once it's cut off. So as you're drying and curing, the trichomes are still developing and they're still maturing. So when you pull at 60-40 like I do, which is 60% milky and 40% amber, you're going to get more to the 60-40 the opposite way with the finished product. So it's going to be more 60% amber, 40% milky. So you need to take that into consideration. And as far as a magnifying glass, jeweler's loupes, anything like that, I just suggest getting on eBay or Amazon and looking for the cheapest one, because they're all doing the same thing. I'm pretty sure they all work, and it's not that difficult to be able to see, especially if you're growing outdoor in sunlight. You can see really well with a small, cheap jeweler's loupe. I think I got mine for $8 off eBay, and it just pops open, comes in a little case, and you just gotta kind of move it back and forth and move your bud back and forth on the plant to get it to focus. But eventually you'll get it to focus, and you'll see all the little happy trichomes, look like a stick, little bulb on top. And basically we're just looking for color. That's all. And depending on, I said, like what kind of effects you want, you're going to make the decision yourself what percentage you'd go for. And what that means percentage is you look at the little spot, and whatever you see in that loop, you estimate in that visual what the percentage milky to amber. You don't need to look over the entire buds or anything like that, just a small spot and look over it and just guesstimate. Look at it, that looks about 50-50, and then you can pull. My next video is going to go over harvest time, it's going to go over drying conditions, curing, different products you can use, But this video is, like I said, focused on harvest time. So bottom line, go out and get a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look at the little crystals, trichomes, and I'm using these key terms for you guys to do your own research as well. I expect all of you guys to go ahead and do a little bit of research with the key terms that I use that you're not familiar with, like trichomes and things like that. Because the more you're familiar, the more research you do, the more you read about it, the more confident you are when you're making these moves. Because believe me, it's really stressful to cut down your first plant. You want to make sure that it's done properly. You don't want to take all that time and investment and throw it out the window for a subpar product because you couldn't wait. So be patient, guys. Look over it with the trichomes. Look over it with your jeweler's loupe. Don't pay attention to the red hair development, because some plants can be pushing out white pistils all the way through to harvest. And some plants will wrap up and there won't be any new white pistils. It'll go yellow, it'll go orange, the red hairs will tuck in, and the plant will look done, but the trichomes won't be fully developed. And it's strain related too. There's so many variables in growing. So you have to be able to roll with the punches. So sometimes, certain strains, and there's days for each strain. Like certain strains take an estimated amount of days to mature in perfect conditions. Now, mind you, sometimes certain variables can change. Heat, you could have a mishap with water, anything can stress it out and slow the maturing process. That can affect your schedule and your days. That's why I don't give days to people, because people don't understand that this plant flowers in 70 to 75 days. Well, then they're just going to cut it down in 70 days. They're not going to wait. They're not going to look at it. They're just going to assume it's done. And like I said, with so many variables, sometimes maturity can take longer than what the suggested flowering period is. So you always want to look at your trichomes, no matter what. Just get out there with your magnifying glass or your jeweler's loupe. Don't spend a bunch of money on it. I know they make specific loupes and magnifying glass with LED lights and all this special stuff that you can buy online. If you're a tech person and you like to buy stuff that you don't really need to use, just because you want to buy techie stuff, go for it. But me, I just want functionality, so I bought the $8 jeweler's loupe on eBay. And it works perfectly, and it worked I've had that thing for 18 years. So, $8, 18 years, figure it out. Pretty dang cheap, and it's very useful. Well, that's it. Hopefully I went over everything about harvesting. You guys are going to get another video here in about a week about what you need to do when it comes to harvest time, how to harvest the plants, how to dry the plants, how to cure the plants, and how to store the leftover, there's no such thing as leftover flour, is there? Well, how to store your flour so that you can continue to use it throughout the year. It's your boy, the Anonymous Farmer with Anonymous Genetics, back with another awesome video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it's very informative. I try to break things down into layman's terms so people understand. Unlike some of the other videos and information you may get, it's very difficult to decipher. I try to make it to where everybody understands what I'm saying. I mean, I think I should come out with a coloring book and just, you know what I mean, have step-by-step process with the coloring book, and we can go and color our trichomes the color we want them. Peace, guys. Have a good one.